Hello, everybody, welcome back to Gyandan. Today is the 14th day of 30 days to a more powerful vocabulary. Words for human traits. Men and women have so many forms of conduct and such a multitude of varied characteristics and points of view that they have inspired a host of descriptive adjectives. We will introduce the new words first in a series of simple sentences where the context will give at least a hint as to the meanings of those terms that are not already familiar to the reader. Number 1. Loquacious. Loquacious. Girl who talks incessantly. Number 2. The gullible. Gullible. Housewives believes everything a canvasser tells her. You can try to think of some people that you can relate with the words and write them down on a piece of paper beside the word. Number 3. The suave. Suave. Talker can persuade you that black is white. The pompous. Pompous. A pompous person seems overwhelmed with a sense of his own importance. Number 5. The aesthetic. Aesthetic. Artist has dedicated his life to beauty. The taciturn. Taciturn. Husband answers his wife in grunts and monosyllables. Number 7. The opinionated. Opinionated. Fool has a mind so finely made up that neither hell nor high water can make him change. The phlegmatic. Phlegmatic. Person can't get excited over anything. The erudite. Erudite. Man has learned views. Number 10. The complacent. Complacent. Fellow is sure that everything is going to come out all right. The punctilious. Punctilious. Hostess worries if so much as one fork is out of place on her perfectly set table. The indefatigable. 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 Worker seems capable of getting along on 4 hours sleep a day. Story of every designer. The vapid. Talker whose conversation is completely meaningless. The iconoclastic. Iconoclastic. Critic carps at such institutions as government, marriage, and religion. The misanthropic. Misanthropic. Cynic hates the world and everybody in it. The puerile. 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 Practical joker may have grown up physically but is still a child emotionally. The ascetic. Ascetic. Person lives in a hut and likes it. Exercise 2. The brief description of the people in part 1 may not be enough to give you a clue to the meanings of such words as may be new to you, as many may be new to you. But try anyway to match the words in italics above with the definitions that follow. Pause the video and answer these questions. Let us now look at the answers. Completely satisfied and content. Complacent. smooth and pleasant in manner, bland, gracious. Suave, not easily perturbed, calm, indifferent. Phlegmatic, one who assails traditional beliefs. Iconoclastic, simple, credulous, easily deceived, gullible. Marked by assumed importance, pretentious, pompous. Appreciating or loving the beautiful artistic, aesthetic. Characteristic of childhood, juvenile, immature, puerile. Very learned, scholarly, erudite. Practicing extreme abstinence and devotion, self denial, ascetic. Terribly talkative, garrulous, loquacious. Habitually silent or reserved, taciturn. Unduly attached to one's own opinions, obstinate, opinionated. Not exhausted by labor or exercise, unflagging, indefatigable. One who hates mankind, misanthrope. Very exact in the observance of forms and etiquette or ceremony. Punctilious. Having lost sparkling quality and flavor. Flat, dull, insipid. Vapid. Each phrase below describes an adjective you have just had. Fill in every blank space with the adjective that fits the descriptive phrase. Just to make it a little harder for you, several adjectives will be called for more than once. Pause the video and answer the questions. Let us now look at the answers. Emotionally sluggish, phlegmatic, practicing self-denial, ascetic, disinclined to conversation, taciturn, having an antipathy for mankind, misanthrope, easily duped, gullible, insipid, vapid, scholarly, erudite, talkative, loquacious, precise in the observance of forms or ceremonies, punctilious, ostentatious and self-importance, pompous, inane, vapid, responsive to beauty, aesthetic, the attitude of one who attacks cherished beliefs as shams, iconoclastic. 14. Childish, puerile, polished in manner, suave, stubbornly set in opinions, opinionated, self-satisfied, complacent, the attitude of a person who attacks established traditions, iconoclasm, having an aversion for the human race, misanthropic, tireless, indefatigable, urbanely persuasive, suave, content contented with the things as they are, complacent. Now, test your understanding of these 17 words once more by marking each of the following statements as true or false. Pause the video and answer the questions. Let us now look at the answers. Number 1. Talkative women are called loquacious. This is true. Country yokels are, as a rule, suave. False. Truck drivers are usually aesthetic. This is definitely false. Number 4. Enthusiastic people are usually taciturn. This is false. Enthusiastic people are always talking. Number 5. The more just a man is, the more opinionated he becomes. This statement is false again. Number 6. People usually lose their heads in an emergency. Phlegmatic. Phlegmatic people are not easily made angry or upset, so it is a false statement. Number 7. Pomposity is usually amusing. Well, this is a true statement. Number 8. College professors are often erudite. This statement is true again. Moving on to number 9. Smug people are never complacent. False. Punctilious people are sticklers for form. This is true. They show great attention to detail. Number 11. The beaver is an indefatigable worker. Number 11 is true. The conversation of a conceited boor is usually vapid. Again, true. The attitude of a communist towards American institutions is iconoclastic. This is true. Number 14. A misanthrope loves his fellow men. That's totally opposite, so it's false. Puerility in a man is a characteristic of maturity. False. The ascetic is given to sensuality. Number 16 is false. Number 17. A young child is apt to be gullible. This is true. Exercise 5. The 17 adjectives that we have been considering are directly opposite in meaning to the 17 words or phrases in this section. Loquacious, for instance, is opposite in meaning to or the antonym of taciturn. Can you write the other antonyms in their correct places? Pause the video and answer these questions. Let's now look at the answers. Number 1. Taciturn. That would be loquacious. Number 2. Easily swayed. Opposite to this would be opinionated. Number 3. Ignorant. Erudite. Number 4. Philanthropic. Misanthropic. Blind to beauty. Somebody who appreciates beauty. Aesthetic. Number 6. Lazy. Indefatigable. Number 7. Dissatisfied. Opposite is complacent. Number 8. Conservative. Iconoclastic. Number 9. Mature. Puerile is opposite of mature. careless of etiquette. Number 10 would be punctilious. Number 11, voluptuous. Number 11 would be ascetic. Number 12, uncivil and churlish would be suave. Number 13, modest, pompous. Number 14, loquacious, taciturn. 15, high strung, phlegmatic, hard to cheat, gullible. Number 17, clever and interesting, vapid. Exercise 6. Let us now test your wits again. The game should be getting easier. Check one correct answer out of 3 in each division. Pause the video and try answering these questions. Let us now start with the answers. Loquacity is an inordinate amount of singing, attention to details, or talking. Number 1 is C. Gullible people fall easy prey to chauvinists, salesmen, or teachers. Salesmen. Suave people are experts at trickery, love, persuasiveness. Pomposity probably comes from fear, obesity, or vanity. Most likely to be aesthetic is an electrician, aviator, or an artist. Taciturnity would likely be found in people who are excitable, public speakers, or hermits. Number 6 is C. Opinionated assertions may likely lead to marriage, arguments, or truth. Arguments. A phlegmatic person sheds tear at an emotional play, goes to pieces in a crisis, or does not become enthusiastic over things. Number 8 is C. Erudite men are most interested in scholarly books, light fiction, comic strips. People who are complacent about their jobs will take it easy, worry about their future, keep an eye on the help wanted ads. A punctilious person is a stickler for originality, courage, good manners. To be indefatigable, one usually needs a great amount of money, energy, or education. Vapid people are bores, successful, or quarrelsome. Iconoclasts are opposed to change, tradition, or reform. That was a tricky one. Number 15. A misanthrope dislikes people, good food, or literature. Men are most likely to be puerile when they don't get their own way, they're reading, they're eating. Most ascetics would prefer to be roustabouts, hermits, great lovers. Number 7. Exercise 7. The stories behind the words in this chapter, if several words histories are omitted from the list, it is because they are uninteresting and have little bearing on the meanings of the English derivatives. Let us hear some stories. Suave. The Latin word suavis is identical with ours, meaning sweet, gracious, pleasant. Iconoclastic. Greek, ikon, idle, kalo, break. An iconoclast, then, is a breaker of idols, or in the modern sense, a breaker of traditions. Pompous, Latin pompous, stately. Aesthetic, the Greek word for aesthetikos, perceptive, becomes refined in our language until it refers to the finer feeling and finer perceptions in the field of art and culture. Puerile, of course, is from Latin word pure, boy. When a man is puerile, he is acting like a child. Ascetic, Greek ascetikos, which has to do with exercise. Possibly, through the discipline required in exercise, it came to mean moral discipline. Loquacious is a simple word to trace from Latin loquor, meaning speak. Taciturn, Latin tacere, to be silent. Opinionated, opinionated, from Latin opinion, thought, or opinion, opinionated, means to well provide with opinions or stubborn in ideas. Indefatigable, Latin in, not, and defatigare, to tire out. Punctilious, from the Latin punctum, or point. Punctilious is used in our language to refer to someone who is very attentive to fine points. Punctual derives from the same Latin word. Vapid, this and the Latin word vapidus both mean in speed. We have tried purposely in this book to save the reader the trouble of going to the dictionary, but it is hardly necessary for us to remind the student of words that he will find the dictionary habit an invaluable one to form. It is only in this way that one can get a real feeling for words and learn to know the fine distinctions between meanings. How about looking up the three useful but trickery words: punctilious, meticulous, and scrupulous? Can you distinguish between them? There are interesting word histories behind them, and it will be good practice to look them up in your dictionary. That's the end of chapter 14. To be continued. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe.